Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, welcome everyone, all of our visitors, to our donors. We appreciate your support. We can't do what we do without you. Local media members, it's just the same. Support takes many forms. And, I think I say this every year. I've been in other positions where, the collegiate athletics program just does not get the degree of local support that we get here from our media members, from our donors, from the community. And it's always humbling on days like today. So first of all, thank you. Thank you for all you do and all you'll continue to do to support our program. And, as the video said, we're coming off a pretty amazing year. We had our second consecutive sixth-place finish at the NCAA championships. We won the most individual national titles of any team in the country. We broke 3 national records. We had 22 All-America honors. We had both the Outstanding Swimmer of the Year and the Outstanding Diver of the Year. No pressure, right? We've got to top a little something, but it's been interesting. It's been a really fun year because we lost maybe some of the leading lights of our program in our national champions, but we've been able to really get a feel for even though they've left the program, we return a lot of experience. We have Madeline and Sophia here who have both been All-Americans in their time, multiple times over during their careers here. And, graduating the class that we graduate gives people like them a chance to step into a feature role and, really take the lead and get some of the credit that perhaps, the other athletes in the past maybe take up. So it's been a lot of fun for us to see them, evolve into that role, to see the example they've set for our freshman class, which, as we said in the video, is it's a very talented group, and they've pushed the older ones to be very good. It's a year of firsts. It's a year of changing faces. We have almost a brand new staff. The one stalwart is Bob Parker, our diving coach, who by any measure is the best diving coach in the country at the collegiate level. In my opinion, across any division. She's been an NCAA Coach of the Year at the Division II level. A UWF diver has won every diving event since, I think, 2015 or something like that at the national level. So, her credentials speak for herself, and we're appreciative of her support. We bring Brian Moffat onto the team, who comes to us from a championship program at Grand Valley State as our grad assistant. And we bring Zach Duval as a volunteer diving coach, who also comes to us from a championship pedigree, both at the junior college and Division I level. So, from the staff perspective, it's been a lot of fun getting new ideas, working with new people, seeing new ways to do things. So it's, as we move into this year, we're a little different than the basketball teams, in the sense that we have been competing for a couple of weeks, and we're getting ready for a big one this weekend. We head over to Tallahassee to take on Florida State, and we're not sure if some of us may be playing quarterback or something like that over there. We'll see how that goes. But, I pass it rugby style, but we're looking forward to the challenge. It's always great to see that level of competition, and we learn a lot by being in that environment. But we also have some competition at our level that we get to compete against in the University of North Florida, which is a Division I program that's been emerging the past few years, and we see them as a nice test. And then historically one of the greatest Division II programs we've had over the last 5 years in Florida Southern. So we get the high level competition with Florida State, and we also get some meets that we want to be a part of and we want to win. We had a similar situation just a couple of weeks ago at our aquatic center, competing against Tulane, winning events against Tulane, who are an excellent mid-major program. And earlier on in the year, heading down to the Nova Southeastern Invitational, where we got to see, including us, we had 3 of the top 6 teams from NCAAs last year participating in an early season meet. So the results so far have been fantastic. We're very excited with the pieces that we've got. We're seeing some things already that are better than at any point, at any other year that we've had at this stage of the year. So, if we continue a similar trajectory that we've had in years past, we think there's a lot of exciting things to come. We think we think that we've got a lot to look forward to. It's been a lot of fun to see how this senior class develops, and in a couple of weeks we'll get a real good test at an invitational just to see see where we're at, see how things are looking, and heading into the conference meet. I think with the changes we've had with our team, it puts us in a great position to not necessarily have to worry about the expectations. The one thing we've said all along is we're not trying to replace what we've lost. We're trying to take this year's team and give that its own identity. And so far, it's been a lot of fun. To that point, I'd open it up to questions.
What about depth on this team? It sounds like maybe you're happier with the depth that you have, the point scoring depth than in past years.
Yeah, and that's a big feature. In swimming and diving, there's more than one way to be successful. And whereas last year perhaps we were a little more top heavy, we definitely think we've got a much better constructed roster this year. And so we're hoping that once we get to those invitational type meets and conference championship type meets, we're going to see. Whereas maybe we had 7 or 8 really, really good contributors on the roster, maybe last year, we think that number goes down to 14 to 16. Almost our entire roster is going to contribute immensely, and we've done that with diving too. I neglected to mention that in my opening remarks, but we have a returning All-American and then a brand new slate of divers who, every meet so far, it's a different person seems to be coming out on top, which is just, you can imagine the competitive environment. That just helps everyone.
Madeline, Sophia, what is it like swimming against some of these major programs? That's the great thing about swimming. You're able to get, you all have competed against Alabama, Tulane, Vanderbilt, Air Force. I mean, over the years, what has that meant to you all to get in and compete with those major programs?
Well, when you think about it, like at first when you say like Alabama, FSU, it's kind of intimidating to think that we're a really good program, but those schools essentially are better. But it's actually really good to swim against those schools because you get to see, if you think about it, we have nothing to lose. We know that we're just going to put our best foot forward. And I think that it's really nice to step in there with bigger dogs than us, because to me it's a learning experience, because not only are you racing them, but also when you see them race and how they perform, you can kind of take note and see what things you can improve on or look at it in a different perspective that you never did before. So I think every time we go in there, one, we put our best foot forward, and we end up sometimes doing pretty well against bigger teams like that. And it's just makes it all more fun, competitive, and you learn a lot from it. So it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. There's a lot of schools that don't really get that opportunity to swim against such good people. So I always like to look at it as, like she said, nothing to lose and just have fun.
Mm-hmm. For both of you again, what have you learned maybe from the team success? I realize there's a lot of individual success, but just being part of a team that has accomplished so much nationally. And what have you taken from that maybe helps you in your roles of leadership now?
I think every year is different. So every year that I've been on this team, I've learned something different every year. And it teaches you how to take things differently every year and learn new things that maybe you didn't look on before. And seeing not even just the swimmers we've had in the past that have won national championships, but also the divers, seeing how they go through the process and how they when things get tough, seeing how they deal with it and how they progress. I think it shows you as Maddie and I, as one of the leaders, is that you learn to always be there for other teammates, because you individually want to win a title, but at the end of the day, we're a team. So to me, the most important thing is as a team to do well, not just myself. So you learn that even though you may have a bad day or it's not your day or your time to shine in that moment, to be there for the other girls and to always be that light if they're having not so good of a day either.
Yeah, and swimming is a really individual sport, so having a successful team kind of makes you reflect on it's not just about how well you do, it's about how the whole team does. So it's good to have a successful team, because then it reminds you of all that stuff and how you have to be a good teammate as well as being a good individual swimmer. So it's good to have that to look back on.
As a short amount of time, both of you have been part of a program that has built a national name. It's reflected in the schedule that you compete with. How much has that meant to you all? Because, you know, the history here is short, and yet the success has enabled you all nationally to really have a special name in swimming.
It's amazing to see in like the 5 years that we've been here how much we've progressed and how so fast. I mean, I remember talking to Andrew the first time at a high school meet, and you know, it was kind of scary thought to think to. I was like, do I really want to join a team that's brand new? Because you never know what to expect. And honestly, it was the best decision I ever made. And being at the NCAA championship 2 years ago is something that I always dreamed of, but never thought it would actually happen. And then to see from then on, like every year, we just gotten better and better. It means the world to me. I think it's something that not every team gets a chance to have, or at least at such a level that it's just every year it's just better and better. So it means a lot, and it really shows to really care about everything that you do and to take each moment, because it's something that you might not get again for a while.
Yeah, I think it's awesome because, I mean, we just came in and just like automatically we're a top team, and I think that's awesome. And I really don't think it'll ever stop. I think we'll always be up there, so it's cool.
Andrew, that's it.
No pressure.
But I mean, for you too, to see this, I mean, in like everywhere in NCAA swimming, people know about UWF, so that's got to mean a lot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's gratifying. It's humbling a little bit, because you never, you know, you think if you get good people in place that you'll have success, but you know, what defines that success, you never really quite, you know, have that planned out. But you know, I think given the environment here at UWF, given the success of the other programs, given, you know, the support that we get from the campus, from the administration, from our donors, from the community, you know, I to a point, for me, there was a sense of inevitability about it, just because we're fitting in, we're doing our part, we're part of a bigger overall picture of success. You know, so it's been fun. It's you know, another thing I neglected to mention. It's going to be a little different this year. This is the first year we have a team that not a single person has always been a part of our program. We graduated 13 seniors last year who were, you know, many of whom were a part of our first ever team. So, you know, just another reason that it's a new beginning. But you know, it's been a tremendous experience. It's been it's surpassed any expectations we could have had, what we've been able to do, and you know, it makes you hungry for more. And hopefully we can continue to do that.